What is going on, guys? It's Michael back, and today I'm going to be reading to you a story that I actually wrote myself. I wrote this story with the intention of inspiring and provoking unique and valuable thoughts that are especially relevant in this world and apply to you in any circumstance you find yourself in and in any phase of life that you find yourself in. I posted this story over on my Instagram at michael.t.moore, and I thought that it was important enough to bring to this channel. So I'm just going to get into it. On his 19th birthday, a young man was celebrating with his family. His entire family gathered to give him gifts and pray for a healthy year. The night progressed, and he found himself sitting with his grandpa, who was a source of endless wisdom. He told his grandpa, "I can't seem to figure life out. I'm getting older every year, but I can't seem to find a purpose to my life. It's like my days go by jumping to and from short-term gratification, bad habits, and time wasting. I just feel like I'm going through the motions and can't find true happiness." His grandpa was a wise and reflective man who enjoyed 70 years in a happy marriage, an impactful and affluent career, and who traveled all around the world. The young man viewed him as a role model and held his advice in high regard. The old man thought deeply before saying, "I have been on both sides of your dilemma, and I can promise you that the bad habits that you think are pleasurable in the short term are actually muffled pain. True happiness does not come easy, and if it seems to, it always leads to pain down the road." The young man then asked, "What is true happiness?" The old man smiled inwardly, looked over at his wife in the living room, and then back to his grandson. "True happiness does not come from anything external. It comes from a deep satisfaction with a life that you have created for yourself. If you wander through your life going for all the cheap pleasure, you will never feel the happiness that comes from knowing that you have lived a life rather than just an existence. Live, do not exist." So guys, I wanted to delve into a few of the main ideas that this is a very short story, almost a parable, but I just wanted to dive into some of these ideas because it deserves to be elaborated on. So let's go into that first chunk of dialogue where the young man says, "I can't seem to figure life out." He says, "I'm getting older every day, but I can't seem to find a purpose." He doesn't have a purpose, guys, and a lot of people relate to this. I myself have certainly felt uh, a paralysis almost, where I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my life. I know a lot of kids, a lot of people that are graduating high school, especially graduating college, and going about their adult life. They don't necessarily have a sense of meaning, a sense of deep purpose, and it's unfortunate because nowadays there's a paralysis of options. There's so many paths that you could go down that a lot of times you might not commit to a certain one because you're viewing, oh, it might be better over here, it might be better over here, it might be better over here, all these different pathways. This is why in some of my past videos I talked about the importance of a focus, having a focus that drives and compels you to act in an honorable and virtuous way. So it's important, this lack of purpose that he has, he in the story, especially can come from this lack of a direction, which is one of the first things that any person needs to develop in their life. Otherwise, they might find themselves guilty of a wasted life. So let's continue. He says, "It's like my days go by jumping to and from short-term gratification, bad habits, and time wasting." This is a compelling idea, guys. Short-term gratification and bad habits equals what he goes on to say, "It seems like I'm going through the motions and can't find true happiness." So short-term gratification and bad habits equal this feeling of going through the motions and a lack of true happiness. This is universally true, guys. When you live your life in the pursuit of immediate gratification, you're not gonna feel a deep sense of purpose. And why is this, guys? This is my argument for why this is true, guys. This is what I wrote. Without a worthwhile focus, without a direction for your life, the void, every human has this void inside them. The void needs to be filled somehow. And what is this void? How could I elaborate on this void? The void is, I don't know what it is about humanity, but it's human nature that every human wants to feel important and valued by their community, valued to the people around them, to feel useful, to feel like my life has made other people's lives better. I have done my service to humanity. I believe that every human has this innate desire inside themselves. And so what the young man is saying is that he doesn't have this sense of meaning. He doesn't feel important and valued to society. And so what happens? That void needs to be filled somehow, guys. And it gets filled by what? It gets filled by short-term gratification and bad habits. You ever been caught in the cycle of scrolling through Instagram? You ever been caught in the cycle of eating bad food that you know is bad for you, but that you can't strip yourselves away from? You ever been stuck in the cycle of mindless video games in order to fill the emptiness of time that you're not devoting to something that's greater, that you're not devoting to something that is true to your soul? This is what happens. That void needs to be filled, guys. So going on to what the old man says in response, he says, I have been on both sides of your dilemma, and I can promise you that the bad habits that you think are pleasurable in the short term is actually muffled pain. Muffled pain. I described this in a somewhat peculiar way. Muffled pain, what does that mean? I chose to describe that because what appears to be pleasurable quickly, such as video games, oh, you're getting XP, scrolling through Instagram, that the dopamine is firing off in your brain. If things like pornography and these dopamine spikes in your brain, it appears pleasurable in the short term. That's why you get tempted to do it. But what's unfortunate is that what appears pleasurable quickly is actually the result of the void being temporarily filled. So it's in essence, you're filling the void temporarily, so you're getting the dopamine, the satisfaction. But if you remove that stimulus, if you remove the video games, if you remove the Instagram, the scroll, if you remove these types of things, what's left? That empty void, the pain. So in reality, what you're doing by these short-term gratification bad habits is that you're filling the void temporarily. You're muffling that urge to actually be useful to society, that urge to actually feel important and valued by your peers. You're muffling that in the short term. And when that's removed, you're left with the same empty void. This is why what the old man says, or the grandpa says, after really matters. But just to elaborate on this a bit more, think about something like McDonald's. In order to elaborate on the void, this void, hunger. Let's say you're hungry. You go to McDonald's, you fill yourself with garbage food. Sure, you feel full in the moment, but what happens after? What happens when you don't have McDonald's? You feel like garbage. You feel that void even more. It's almost like this void gets worse and worse the more you avoid or confronting it. Same with drugs, same with entertainment, mindless entertainment, Netflix, TV shows. You're filling the void temporarily with what is temporarily satisfying to your brain. It spikes the dopamine, but you're putting off the confrontation between your soul and your connection to your calling, your purpose, and what you actually need to do to be a valued member of society. So let's go on to what the grandpa says at the end. True happiness does not come from anything external. It does not come from the porn. It does not come from the Netflix. It does not come from the TikTok. It does not come from the mindless consumption of worthless media. It comes from a deep satisfaction with a life that you have created for yourself. If you wander through your life going through for all the cheap pleasure, you will never feel the happiness that comes from knowing you have lived a life rather than just an existence, guys. So look, if you wander through your life, this is wander. You're wandering. You're going this way. You're going this way. You're grabbing the chips. You're grabbing the mindless food. You're grabbing the stuff that's spiking the dopamine. You're wandering. You're not focused. You're not aiming. You don't have a direction. You will never feel the happiness. Why? Why won't you feel the happiness because of this? Think about the void. You're filling that void temporarily, but once that's removed, once you can no longer keep grabbing the chips, once you're so far gone in your health that you can't come back, you will never feel the true happiness that comes from knowing you have lived a life rather than just an existence. Living a life. What is a life? Live, do not exist. What is a life? It's like I said, the true way to fill that void is to satisfy the human need to feel important and valued by your community. Is this not true, guys? Is this not true? Do you not feel that urge inside you to be useful to your community? This is what's going to cause you to feel that true happiness, that calmness, that state where you don't feel anxiety, you don't feel depression. That's when you're valued by the people around you and you feel valuable in yourself. If you are aimlessly scrolling through your time and you're wasting your time throwing it down the drain, you know what you're doing. You can't avoid that. You can't watch 10 hours of Netflix every day and not realize that you're wasting your time. Everybody knows this, no matter how much they want to deny it or they want to this again is not a point to say that you can never enjoy those things. It's more so to say that if you're avoiding what's important by filling you up with filling your life with short-term gratification and bad habits like the young man described in the story, you're never going to feel that true happiness that comes from being valued by your community, valued and remembered by the people around you that you care about, remembered fondly for your contribution to the world. And yeah, your contribution to the world, guys. It's a human need to feel important and valued. So I hope you gained some insights from this story. I posted this over on my Instagram. I thought it was worthy of sharing on this channel and going into a bit more depth. I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed, if you gained some value. Comment down below, guys. Comment what you thought of this. How did you feel when I was talking about this? Did you feel it connecting with you? Did you have some points that you'd like to discuss further? Did you have some points that you disagree with, guys? I love seeing the dialogue in the comment section. It always inspires me, and that's the way that you really internalize ideas, by asking questions, by commenting on what made sense, what didn't make sense, all that, guys. So comment, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel, guys. We're gonna be pumping out content. We're gonna be pumping out that are just things that are gonna benefit your life, things that are gonna provide these insights, and it's gonna be my journey as well. It's gonna be my journey going on it and sharing what I find to be insightful, what I find to be valuable. And so if you gain value, guys, subscribe. It's going to be content like this. It's going to be stuff that's going to inspire and motivate and give you more clarity in your direction and in your life path, guys. So all the best, guys. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you later.